Think about your favorite fighter. Think about how awesome it would be to meet him, to just shake his hand and take a picture. Now think about getting into the ring with him. Mine was the Muay Thai legend Yodson Klai. In 2013, I felt like you. 7 months later, I punched him in the face. This has been the case several times for me. It was interesting, but I stopped being able to look up to a lot of really great fighters because they started becoming my rivals. Fighters that have been my heroes when I first started training became my opponents. It was kind of surreal. This was one of the fighters my trainer made me watch when I first started fighting. One of the best Muay Thai fighters of all time and the only Thai to have ever won a boxing gold medal in the Olympics. A few years later, this is me beating him in full rules Muay Thai. I remember seeing this guy dominate in Lumpini in the old Sangchai Best of Muay Thai DVDs when I first started fighting. I scored 2 knockdowns in the 5th round when I fought him and got a unanimous decision to win this IMTO world title from him a few years later. I still remember watching Yodson Klai on a streak of racking up non-stop KOs, including when he knocked out Kemsit Songphanong and made it look easy when everybody was saying that Kem was the guy to beat. A couple years later, I took Yodson Klai all 5 rounds and gave him hell every step of the way. I remember watching Malapit on TV when he was kicking ass all over Europe in Super League and seeing him get a super impressive elbow KO win as the main event in the show where the young rookie version of myself was just making my pro debut. A few years after that, I beat him for the WBC world title, then gave him a rematch for the title a year later and beat him again to defend it. On paper, I should have been crushed in every single one of those fights. Each one of these guys probably had over 100 fights before I even knew what Muay Thai was. Think I'm exaggerating? Let's take a look at their records again. Now look at mine. And not only did I beat these guys, but I got 8 Muay Thai belts along the way. While I was doing it, it felt totally normal. But when I was at a Super Bowl party a couple years ago, I had a friend of mine tell me how unusual he thought it was that I was able to get to that level without having 300 fights. Most people take decades of training to get to this level. I did it in a fraction of the time by training in a highly focused and specific way. I did it this way because I had to. This is the thing. I started fighting when I was 19 years old. Most guys on the elite level have been fighting ever since they were 7. If you start fighting that young, then you have the luxury of taking 20 years to polish your Muay Thai. But if you start Muay Thai when you're 19, 29, or 39, you have to ask yourself, can I afford to wait 20 more years to get to the point where my body does what I want it to? If I take 20 more years to learn great Muay Thai skills, is my body still even going to be physically able to use them? Most of us can't afford to wait 20 more years to achieve our goals in Muay Thai. Talking to my friend at that Super Bowl party made me realize that most people probably already know that. Most people probably know deep down that there has to be a better way of training Muay Thai, a way to fast track themselves to another level, but they have no idea where to start. I see it the most with the clinching in particular. We know we need to grab them and throw knees. Maybe we should toss them around too. But by and large, clinching is a black box for a lot of people. They know it's important, they know they need to get better at it, but they don't know exactly what they need to work on to really get their skill up there. That's how the idea of the micro balance breaking system was born. It's a Muay Thai clinching system that's basically a step-by-step for everything I've done to get to an elite level in such a short amount of time. I've trained all over the world, and much of what's in the system is thanks to what was shown to me by the excellent trainers that I worked with, especially in Thailand. The majority of what I included, though, is what they didn't teach me directly. Actually, they don't teach these things to any Westerner. It's the details that I saw them do themselves, and the extra details that I noticed they only shared with their own hand-picked Thai fighters that they were grooming for greatness. It's those details that work the best in all my fights, and that's why I focused on them so much when I created the micro balance breaking system.
Hey Chike, the micro balance breaking system lessons have been great. I'm only a couple weeks in, but I'm already starting to see some of the big guys in the gym breathe a little harder after we clinch. Thanks my brother, I've tried a bunch of other programs, but this one is for real.
Hey TK, I just wanted to drop a line real quick. I think you've taken my Muay Thai to the next level. I'm so excited. I love the micro balance braking system. It's incredible. The clinch that I've learned, I'm just so happy with. I'm on the road a lot, so I don't have a lot of time and I can't get the private lessons. So I really love your online lessons. It's like you're there with me. You're an incredible instructor.
Hey TK, I just started Muay Thai, but I just got the system and I love it. What I really was impressed with was the fact that the lessons aren't just how to do the moves, it's when to do them and how to anticipate how opponents will react. I love the mental approach.
What a relief. The idea of this micro balance braking system sounded like it made sense, so I gave it a shot. But there's so much crap Muay Thai training out there that I was still afraid this was another waste of time. No offense, but honestly, if it wasn't for the money back guarantee, I don't know if I would have even pulled the trigger. I'm glad I took a chance though. I've never seen anybody teach with this much detail. Everything is broken down all the way and just makes a ton of sense. This is legit. I'm sorry for doubting. Thanks, man.